SimTheWorld here, back with yet another exciting episode of Car Mechanic Simulator 2018. Today, we've got... This car actually looks in pretty good shape. You can see the tires and rims on the front kind of look trashy. Looks like the caliper and the brake disc there look pretty bad. Let's see what our customer says. My car has some serious steering issues. I don't feel safe driving it anymore. Please fix whatever is wrong with it. So it looks like we're going to be dealing with suspension this job. A lot of suspension parts. Let's take a look under the hood. Okay, so the brake module, brake pump need to go, and boy, we got some rusted up parts looking here. Oh, way too close to the rust. Way too close to the rust, folks. It's hard to get good camera angles sometimes. Yeah, there we go. We can see the back here. The rear suspension arms look bad. Yeah, everything on the front needs to go. We need to get this over to the lifter and start ripping this apart. Yeah, we'll switch things up. I'm feeling feisty today. Throw it over on lifter B. First thing I want to do is take everything out from underneath the hood. And it's just a couple items, a couple things we don't have to worry about after this. We'll even replace those now too. Normally with these repair jobs, especially the story orders, they're in low enough condition that you can't really fix the parts even if you wanted to. Like the pump and the ABS module are both repairable on the bench, but only to a certain percent. Alright, that takes care of under the hood. We'll get that taken care of. Let's go ahead and rip out the front end. Yeah, the tires already look bad. Huh. Caliper looks fine. How about the pad? Yeah, pad's no good. Yeah, we gotta take out everything because we gotta replace the knuckle, it looks like. Surprisingly, the wheel bearing and the hub look good. I don't know how the knuckle rusts out so bad, but everything else stay fine. One of those Car Mechanic Simulator mysteries. And the front end link. Front end link's good. But the sway bar is bad? Now, I know there's been a few mechanics that have been watching some of these videos. Is this something you've ran into before? Or is this just immersion breaking game-wise? I'd have to believe, like, the links would go just as well as the sway bar. But I don't work on cars, so I wouldn't know. It's just weird to see them in great condition. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to take the rest of this apart. Almost done here. We'll do these, we'll pull the rear suspension arms off and see if we found everything. This might be a quick job. As many suspension parts as there are, they come out pretty easily. Which I'm really grateful that they don't have any sort of rust and stuck bolt mechanics. Like, I'd have to believe with something looking this terrible and rusty, nothing would want to come loose. Yet these bolts just pop right off. Oh yeah, you can see these bushings are bad too. That was something we weren't going to notice unless we took it to the track. And I did notice the brakes look pretty bad over here. Why don't we pop the back tires off too? I guess it would make sense to replace all the brake components. This side too. Yep. Rust everywhere. Can't avoid it. Yeah, that one brake pad looked fine. Interesting. We're going to replace all the brakes and brake pads and discs just to make sure we don't miss anything on the list. I always hate to fix everything and then find one part was misplaced than the other. And in fact, we have found everything. So this might turn out to be a quick and easy job. I'm going to go ahead and order up some parts and get those delivered. And then we'll start throwing this car together. Alright, so I am back. Everything's ripped out. Let's take a look at the tires. So the front tires needed replaced, and both the rim and the tire are beyond repair. So I'm just going to replace both with new parts and get those balanced and rotated. While that works, we're going to use the spring puller to install our new springs. Kind of multitask here and get a few jobs done at once. Make use of this long time that the balancer goes. It takes way too long. Way too long, Mr. Balancer. And both of these tires have to go back on the front. If we put them on the rear and put the rear tires on the front, the customer will complain because we didn't install the parts to 100%. Other than that, the rest of the parts, I did notice that only the one of the front knuckle covers was damaged. The other one was fine. I wasn't going to mess around with trying to figure out which side needed it replaced, which side didn't. So we're going to replace everything with new components. So again, we're going to jump through this and finish off this job. Alright, so I do believe we have fixed all the suspension issues. Let's take a look here. We're not done with the job quite yet. What are we missing? Oh, we're missing the oil, of course. Now would be the perfect time to do an oil change. Let's go ahead and switch that up. Lower down the car, we'll get under the hood here and fill this up with some new oil. And with that, I believe this car should now be good to go. There it is, $15,000 just for this job. Wow, that's a lot of money. We are raking it in. Perfect. Oh, so if you noticed up at the top there, it said we had a case that came in. Why don't we take a look at these finally? Yeah, we can clear out our inventory. These are old parts we don't need. So I don't know if I've talked a lot about the cases. After they released the game, to make things a little more interesting, when you complete a job, sometimes these cases will also be an extra reward at the end of the job. And what they contain are performance parts or higher quality parts in some cases. So we get some higher quality, and it increases the value of the car. In some cases, if they're tuning parts, they'll increase the performance as well. And of course, we get some barn maps, which the barn maps can be useful to go find some cheaper cars sometimes. It depends. The quality levels go from 1 being the lowest level all the way up to 5. The 5s tend to be pretty rare. Yeah, we got a 4 and it's a rim. One of my dreams has always been to build a car out of 5 quality star parts, or I don't know if they're stars exactly, but in my mind they are. I've gotten, I don't want to say close, I've done decent. I don't know how you'd be able to find 4 of the same rims, because there are a lot of parts in this game. And you'd need like 16 or 18 of the same bushings. Okay, so we finally got a 5 after like 5 cases. And it's an air filter cover. So we've gotten all the different quality parts, which is pretty cool. Alright, so we didn't get anything that would boost performance quite yet, but maybe in time we'll find that. I think this is going to be a good time to wrap up this episode. I'll keep opening crates in the meantime and see if we can't get enough parts to build a pretty high quality car. I won't guarantee 5 for this channel, but maybe we can do a mixture of a bunch. Thanks for watching as I simulate my life one game at a time. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss any of the future action. You can follow on Twitter for updates of future games being played, as well as follow on Twitch as I try to stream 3 days a week. Thanks, and I'll see you next time at SimTheWorld.